I'm Spencer.
I'm Eric.
And I'm here.
And this is The Itch.
Yeah.
And we're here to do a retrospective.
Retrospective review.
Just retrospective.
On
It's basically a review, but I gotta compare it.
on
Super Mario
World. Yeah.
So this game came out for the Super Nintendo. It was in 1990 it was released. He was just a glimmer in his mother's eye.
No, I was born in 1989, dude.
Okay, he was a glimmer in his mother's eye.
Fuck out of here.
It was called Super Mario 4 in Japan. It came packaged with the Super Nintendo. And this is my first video game. So it holds a lot of personal nostalgia for me. Decided to go play it on the Wii U, what do you call it? Virtual console recently. And I wanted to share my experience with it and do a retrospective to see how it holds up today.
How does it hold up today?
Glad you asked.
Ah.
So Mario and Luigi are vacationing on Dinosaur Island. And
Okay,
that's where
bullshit story, plot holes.
And that's where they meet a character that would go on later to be one of the most favorite Nintendo characters of all time.
Boo?
No.
Majin Buu.
No. No. Yoshi.
No.
Yoshi. Everyone's favorite.
Yoshimitsu.
Nope. You're adding too much to it. It's just Yoshi.
Oh, God damn it.
So the gameplay. I'm going to talk briefly about the gameplay and then describe how it pertains to today's gaming.
Describe how it pertains.
So it's a traditional platformer, and by traditional I mean this is basically the mother of all platformers. The Mario series.
Wait, that's like
Sonic.
Yeah,
No,
Sonic. Yeah.
no, that's not it. So Mario kind of started platformers. This carries that tradition. It's just you side scroll. You go from left to right.
Sounds like Sonic.
Just jumping around on different
Whoop.
things.
Yeah.
Jumping on enemies.
But does he go fast?
Yeah.
He goes.
No, this one doesn't. See, they tried to go slow this time because they thought it was better for them.
Oh, to cater towards their audience.
The younger
Yeah,
audience. Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
I'm as fast as you!
Yeah. I mean, an audience that knows what gaming is. But so basically, this one offered some weird things. It actually had the A button doing a spin jump that you actually stomp people to death.
Yeah.
As opposed to where usually you kind of bounce off of them. This one could kill even the bigger enemies, which
And B
is weird.
was spin dash, yeah?
Yeah, sure. And when he did that, I don't think that was really that clever. For whatever reason, they added that, but they didn't really use it too often. So I'm kind of let down on that. The level design generally has a gimmick attached to them, which is kind of what we do now, but at the time of this game, what it would do is basically that would be the entire level, is the gimmick. And once the gimmick was over, once they feel like, okay, we've really explored everything that this gimmick has, level ends. So a lot of these levels are actually pretty damn short, even in the later stages.
Yeah, Sonic kept their levels really refreshing, so.
Very interesting.
Sonic, what's up with you?
I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit about Sonic. I hope you know that.
You can't be mad at your forefathers.
Yeah,
Come on.
right. So this game offered two different items, the fire and the cape. The fire flower, which everyone knows, and then the cape, which offered the ability to basically fly through the levels. I actually thought that the cape, in retrospect, like as a kid, I thought the cape was really cool. It gave you a lot of opportunities, but I now view the cape as more of a crutch because it slows your progress when you're falling, so it makes it actually a lot easier. And I thought in some of the levels it kind of took away from the tension. Honestly, I'd probably get rid of it in the future, or at least change its functionality so maybe you could only fly.
Drop it!
The castle stages are awesome. That's where this game really shines, is those castle stages. That is platforming at its best. It offers different puzzles and how you're supposed to jump and all that stuff. They really nailed it in the castle stages. The other stages are a bit of a letdown, I will say, in comparison. It does offer, I've talked to you about this, an early game tutorial without words. Which I think is so important that games need to learn from. And it's awesome. There's a bullet bill, like a huge one, that comes at you. And right at the beginning, there's a dip in the ground. So you basically have to run in there and then duck, or else you'll get killed by the bullet bill. It doesn't tell you to do it, but it's intuitively you're like, okay, I'm walking. Oh, I fell down a dip. Oh, there's a bullet bill. Duck. Just that kind of tutorial is so important in gaming that today gamers are just like, I need a paragraph to explain to me.
Yeah. Seriously, there's too much shit on the screen that's not gameplay related.
Right. This is gaming 101. You need to bring this when you're in the class. That kind of stuff.
Well, I had the example, Eagle Raptor used it on Sequelitis for Mega Man X. It's the same concept where they don't tell you anything.
Right.
So, pretending you're a dumbass
Yeah.
and you're going through a level, they kind of feed you a little bit of it. Like, Mega Man never introduces you to something unless you know the full extent of it. So they'll introduce an enemy that does something, but they'll be on a completely different level than you, but they're in the same room. So you know they do something, so when you see them, you can navigate it.
See, it's stuff like that that games today could really take a huge page from.
Because games don't focus, like, they focus on, crap, I just had it. Keep going.
The controls are really tight, a slight slide, which everybody, classic Mario has it. Yeah, the momentum where you stop moving on your controller, but it still goes.
Yeah, Sonic's shoes.
Just a little bit.
He would stop.
Yeah, but he's not terrible though.
Oh, really?
So there are small bits of exploration, but it's definitely not a Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
There's just a couple different branching paths you can take to get you to a Star World type of scenario or stuff like that. Definitely not a whole lot of it. And the difficulty progress is really nice. You can tell how it gets harder and harder and harder until the last zone. For some reason, it gets very easy. All the levels are pretty much beat in one clear.
So you beat the last level before you beat the last level, pretty much.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. That last world before is hard. It's hard as balls, really.
Agario balls.
Agario balls. I kept thinking Agrippa. I'm like, no.
This game wishes. It does have another old standby, which is called the live system. We all remember that.
Right?
Where you have lives.
Lives and continues.
And then you lose your progress if you get a game over. So that adds a whole bunch of challenge, like Mega Man kind of style challenge, where you gotta like be on your A game the whole time, or else you're back to the last save point.
Encourages repetition.
You do learn a lot through repetition.
Your A and B game.
Oh, shit!
Very good. So, next thing I want to talk about is the graphics. How do they hold up?
They fucking suck.
Very bright colors in this game, which is awesome. Super Nintendo is really good at that kind of thing. It's very 2D, although when you watch Yoshi turn, it actually is kind of 3D-ish, which is an interesting aspect because they don't really explore that in any other way. Well, they did have also visuals come towards you,
Yeah.
which was interesting, but very, very few.
And there was one thing I noticed about Mario that I thought was interesting. They never had blast core processing. It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, they did have the FX chip added that had that's what Star Fox ran off of.
Oh, really?
It was a lot.
But it's not blast core.
Well, it was an actual thing. Blast core
was the thing.
Blast core is just your imagination.
It's totally the
It doesn't actually anything. And I will say that this is not the greatest looking game ever. Like even looking back, it doesn't look bad.
blast core?
It doesn't look like a terrible game by any means, but it's not going to wow you. It just didn't age poorly. And I don't know how to explain that really.
Well, I mean, nowadays pixel art's not that bad. So.
Yeah, it's the way that they did the colors are a solid palette, so it wasn't trying to impress you with realism.
Yeah.
And now today I can say, okay, I see what they're going for. It looks fine. It doesn't look like a game at the time I think looks amazing is probably Chrono Trigger. How they actually managed to do multiple layers.
That 1990s?
That was 1995.
Yeah.
And that has different layers attached to it, which is mind-bogglingly beautiful. Another one like Donkey Kong Country, those kinds of games looked gorgeous for what the style they went for. This one has a style that's not going to wow you. It just doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
So that's the best way I can explain it. The soundtrack was fun. It's Mario. Everybody knows a lot of the Mario themes, so you can hum along to it. And some of the sounds are really great, like stuff like that. The fireballs blasting.
Legendary sounds.
Yeah.
Like, whoop, and bling bling, and cheer,
And
and
Sonic!
dun 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 dun.
I apologize to the viewers. So the pros of this game. Solid gameplay. This is classic Mario. Not always the best, but when it gets to the castle stages, that is classic stuff. Definitely worth a playthrough for that. Graphics are fine, and the sound is great. It just is what it is. It's just classic Nintendo fun sound.
It's a nice ode to real mascots.
Some of the cons that at the time there probably weren't a whole lot of cons because the game was still new and that was really considered a high-end game. Today, looking back at it, some of the cons that I've discovered is that there's a lack of avatar strength. We've talked about this a lot. When you go back to a level nowadays, where you started, usually there's some form of RPG mechanic that's been taking place throughout the game.
Yeah.
You go back to earlier places and you can just stomp through it, or you can find a new place to go.
Like Mega
This
Man.
game doesn't really have any of that.
Yeah,
This
it's
game,
not avatar strength, it's player strength. Your skill.
Well, yeah, you
so
know
the
what's
earlier
going
levels
on.
Are
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, right. So the game, literally, you can literally play the same level at the very end of the game, and you'll pretty much have the exact same tools as you did at the beginning. So there's really no change in that, which I think is a negative in today's gaming environment, because we really like that Metroidvania,
Yeah.
Avatar Strength
New
style,
Game Plus.
where the ability to maybe explore further in different ways and stuff like that. It didn't have any of that, which at the time that wasn't a common thing in games. So it makes sense. There's an odd easing up on difficulty at the end. Like I kind of mentioned that. It's really strange how easy the last levels are. Even the last castle isn't that hard, and the last boss is super easy. There was some sloppy.
Still Bowser, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Nothing really changes when you fight him every time, right?
It has a weird mechanic that is kind of disconnected. It's weird.
Ah.
There's some sloppy level design in the non-castle stages. One instance is I went through a cannon without Yoshi, and I jumped through it, and I just immediately died. Like, there's literally no way I could do it. It was impossible. So I had to get Yoshi to jump through the cannon, but there was no way to... It's just weird. Like
Save states.
Yeah. They are your friend.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then I really, really hate the ice and water levels. I cannot...
Yeah,
I
because he already has bad
cannot
momentum.
stand
Right?
those. The ice ones are all about momentum. I just want to throw my controller in frustration during those stages.
Nintendo has a problem with ice shit.
Yeah,
or
they
water
really do.
shit. Zelda.
So overall, how does it hold up? I think it holds up fairly well. There are games that hold up better.
Sonic.
It's a really good family game. When I was playing it, everybody freaking sat down with me and was like, "Give me a shot, give me a shot." We were all trading off. You heard us on the phone.
Yeah, I called him last
He
night.
called me while I was playing it. And I felt really bad because I was in the middle of playing it. I was like, I gotta beat this game. And I was like, but I'm trying to listen to Eric too at the same time.
Yeah.
But no, everybody likes playing Mario. But it's just how it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the game or because it's just world renowned. But
It's a simple platformer to where it's... I'm not going to say that it's entry level. They have entry level levels, like how you're saying it's poor level design and stuff. I think it's because the audience is broad scope.
Mhm.
It can hit everybody. If your kids are looking for a game to play, looking for a platformer, something light and fun, I would recommend Super Mario being one of their first.
Oh, absolutely. This is great to teach them the basics of how a platformer goes and all that stuff.
Throw him into Mega Man.
Yeah.
Deal with it, bosses.
It does have some of the archaic elements, like no avatar strength going on, and things like the levels are kind of short a lot of times, and they're kind of screwy at times. That just doesn't mesh well.
For you ADD fans and gamers, short level design is still relevant nowadays. Like, levels are still short today.
That's true. So on some games, and I will say that it probably won't please more advanced gamers of today due to the lack of progression. It is so basic platformer.
So, real quick, what would you define as advanced gamers then?
Pretty much anybody that's in our age group. I would say we've experienced these games before. We don't need to go backwards to this. It's not a terrible game to play, but we're not gonna be like, I want to spend $50 on Super Mario World. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But for people again that are just starting out and they're like, what's a good game to teach me how to learn how to use a controller without looking at it? Let me jump, learn how to do all that fun stuff. Great, wonderful. Yeah.
All
Good
right.
times.
All right, I'm Spencer.
I'm Justin.
I'm Eric.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Check us out on This Is The Itch on Twitch. Also check us out on theitchnetwork.com. We do new videos.
Every week!
Thanks for watching.
Ah!